Hey, all right. So this video is gonna be like a rant on Call of Duty, basically. I've been planning to do this for a while since I got back on YouTube. So the reason why I wanted to make this video is mostly because I used to be really passionate about Call of Duty. Like most people, I guess. Some people are really still passionate about it. Um, so I guess for starters, Call of Duty brings me back to a lot of memories playing with friends online. It was COD 4. COD 4 Modern Warfare was actually the either the first or second online game I actually ever played, like by myself. Besides the PS2, there's SOCOM that I played for a few minutes, but back then the online wasn't that great. So I guess COD 4 and SOCOM Confrontation were the first two games I ever got into online. So I was pretty new to like online gaming because at that time the PS3 had built-in Wi-Fi, and at the time that's all I could really use. But I didn't know that it had built-in Wi-Fi till like a year or so down the road. I didn't really bother looking into it. So yeah, so that's when basically COD 4 got me into online gaming, and like I remember playing that game like all the time during the summer. Like I never left my house. I woke up every morning, played COD. When I went to sleep, I played COD. Sorry, before I went to sleep. Um, and I still think it's one of the best first person shooters ever made. Definitely for the online, especially. It's in my top five for greatest games of all time, at least in my opinion. So then Modern Warfare came out, and I enjoyed Modern Warfare, although I think the kill streaks are a little too much. I think they added like just too many kill streaks and too many ways to people to get advantage over you, and in combat, I guess. Campaigns have always been kind of decent or mediocre in my opinion. So I like Modern Warfare 2. I still think COD 4 is a bit better. Definitely Modern Warfare 2 had a bit better graphics and like I don't know, they had some cooler weapons, but overall, I think they added too much to it and they kind of just went overboard. And that's kind of when Call of Duty started going overboard in general, was when Black Ops, I think, came out. And obviously, there's World War, called World War, that came out before. I never really got into that too much. I never got the chance to play it besides the few missions on campaign. So, what I'm getting at is that after Modern Warfare 2, I think that's when COD started changing. Um, I like Black Ops 1. I still think Black Ops 1's probably the best in the series. I can kind of argue between Black Ops 2 because I really like that one too. There's some things I like in Black Ops 2 better than I like in Black Ops 1, like I said. But that's when it started going a little futuristic. And I didn't mind the futuristic. Honestly, I didn't mind futuristic CODs up until Advanced Warfare. I actually enjoyed. Now, this video is going to be kind of going back and forth. So, um, love Black Ops 1. Love Black Ops 2. Zombies were great. Zombies have always been good for the most part. That's one thing COD still keeps that I think that they've done a really good job at. Um, so when Black Ops 2 ended, they were gonna make I think it didn't Advanced Warfare or sorry Ghost. I forgot Call of Duty Ghost. I was never a huge fan of Ghost. I still think Ghost is probably better than I don't know. Modern Warfare 3 was also a good game. I think that's when a lot of people didn't like Modern Warfare 3, but I thought it was a bit harder and bit more realistic. And it was an alright game. It was different. It felt different. The controls kind of felt different in my opinion. They're a bit more heavy, I guess, on the controller side. So I like Modern Warfare 3. I liked pretty much every COD. I even liked Advanced Warfare, and a lot of people hated on that game, and I don't know why. Advanced Warfare was such a big refresher in the series, and I think the whole jetpack thing is what lost a lot of people. And I understand it's not everyone's cup of tea. Like if you want a futuristic type shooter, just play like Titanfall or something. And I understand that. And Titanfall and Call of Duty now are just like hand in hand. Besides World War II that just recently came out, and I'll get to that in a bit. So I liked Advanced Warfare. I thought it was a solid game. Like I give it like an 8 out of 10. People might think that's crazy, but I didn't see a lot of problems with that game. The only thing I didn't like about it is that the kill streaks were kind of just bad for the most part. It took way too long to do like certain like things like the missile strike, and just some of the kill streaks were just kind of lame. If that was better and like I don't know, the customization still some of the best I've ever seen. COD how you can customize your jetpack. Um, yeah, I like the whole jump movement, and there was no running on walls yet, not until Black Ops 3 came out. I actually liked Advanced Warfare better than Black Ops 3, and I don't care what anyone says. Black Ops 3 went overboard. The campaign was probably the worst in Call of Duty history. It was so inconsistent with the story. They've tried to make it something that they tried to confuse you all the time. It's okay to have a story that makes you think, but I swear everyone and myself was lost in the story. I'm like, I understand what they're trying to say with like transhumanism and technology and like machine verging with humans and machine taking over, and artificial intelligence. But they didn't execute it right at all. Like there's movies that I've seen that are better, and other games like just touch on that topic that display in a much better way, in a better light. Also, the campaign in Black Ops 3 was very repetitive. It was just like kill a bunch of robots, walk a bit, kill a bunch of robots. It's really repetitive. So I didn't really like that. Although they had co-op, it just wasn't a good campaign overall. So yeah, I liked Advanced Warfare better. Even the campaign Advanced Warfare is one of the best I've seen in a long time. I think it's still one of my favorites. So yeah, Black Ops 3, the online was alright. The hit detection was terrible. That's why I sold that game after a few months. I just kept getting, when I'm supposed to kill someone, I'm the one that gets shot first, even though it doesn't, like Call of Duty's always been like that. So overall, I didn't really like Black Ops 3 that much. It was decent at best. And then since then, I haven't bought Call of Duty. I skipped out on Infinite Warfare, sorry, and I got Battlefield 1. I actually pre-ordered Infinite Warfare, but then after playing the beta for a few minutes, I'm like, what's the point of getting this when even Advanced Warfare is still better, and I still have that. I'm like, I'll just play that if I want to. Um, so pretty much the last Call of Duty I liked, I guess, was Advanced Warfare, and then I canceled on Infinite Warfare, got Battlefield, the best decision I ever made. Much better game than most CODs nowadays. And then then World War II recently came out, obviously in November. I still skipped out on that. I haven't played it yet. And the reason why, because I looked at the game when it first came out, I'm like, okay, so it looks like Battlefield 1. And I compared the two. I'm like, Battlefield 1, I don't even have to play World War II. I already know that it's probably better because Battlefield's better because, like, there's so much more you can do in Battlefield. Like, first of all, there's destructible environments. You can actually fly in things. And Call of Duty games, all these vehicles are always, like, standing by, but you can't get in them. You can't go in a helicopter. The only advantage you have over COD games is, like, or especially World War II, is that the kill streaks are there. And you can't do that, and obviously in Battlefield. But you can still do other things in Battlefield that you can't do in COD, like I said, the vehicles and like all that stuff. Basically, it's more realistic and it takes more teamwork. Although the maps are bigger, but like overall, I still think Battlefield's probably better than World War II. I haven't played it yet. That's the reason why. If there wasn't Battlefield 1, if it never came out and there was no other option for like a war game like that, I probably would have got World War II like right away. I just haven't bothered to play it because of that. I'm sure maybe it's an okay game. I've seen mixed things about it. I just haven't had the reason to buy it yet, like because of that. Cause so that's kind of like my opinion on Call of Duty in the brief, I guess, history I had on it. Now I kind of want to get into, I guess, the community and the fans that claim to love Call of Duty, and then one year they hate it, and then another year they don't. I think Activision, Treyarch, Sledgehammer. I think since there's three companies, they kind of butt heads a lot. Also, the fans butt heads a lot too, and like at the end of the day, when Advanced Warfare came out, they finally changed Call of Duty for once. It was completely different. Either you liked it or you didn't, but people are still complaining that they changed it and it was too futuristic. But it's like, what do you want? Like, there's half of the community saying keep the formula and keep it normal, I guess, boots on the ground, and the other half is like, okay, we want change. So they freaking give you change, and you don't accept it. You shit on the game, but it's like, okay, what do you want? They can't please everybody. So I understood, the reason why they changed it, and I was okay with it because I actually thought it was the most fun I had in Call of Duty game since probably Modern Warfare 2 or something. I don't know. And it's such a refresher. So at the end of the day, I don't think the community really knows what they want. And I don't even care anymore. I don't think Activision or Treyarch or anyone really cares. But then Sledgehammer came out with World War II, and I think it was a last ditch effort because they realized how bad Infinite Warfare did in sales and pre-orders, and even the fact they tried to put in COD 4 Remastered, it still didn't sell a lot. And I still haven't played COD 4 Remastered because the reason why I canceled Infinite Warfare, and also I just haven't bought it yet because I knew they were going to release it later on. I just haven't bothered to buy it. Probably will, I don't know. So yeah, like Call of Duty is such a huge part of, I think, everyone's, for most people, it brings back a lot of memories. It's just I wish they could have corrected some of their mistakes. I don't think Infinite Warfare ever should have came out. I think they probably should have released World War II then, and at least then, you know, the sales probably would have been better too because at the time Battlefield was still out. Um, but I just think Call of Duty dug himself a hole, and now they can't really gain their core fan base back. Even though it does sell a lot still, I still think it's lacking. And the fact that they release one every year is so like I can't stand that. Like I understand there's sports games that do that, like NFL, NBA, MLB, basically every sports. You know, every sport basically they release a game every year, and that's for a sports game. So I don't think Call of Duty should be like that. I don't think there should be because it's not a sport. You know what I mean? There shouldn't be a reskin of a new game every year and with minor changes. I don't think that's necessary, and that's why a lot of people like just are drawn off of it now because it gets boring. Like don't release a COD every year. Like I wish they wouldn't do that because then you still have time with this game. Sure, release a bunch of DLC with the game, and have people playing it for like 2-3 years tops, and then release another one. Make it that much better. You have a bigger cycle to deal with. You have like all this time to make a better game. Um, so yeah, even Battlefield, I'm pretty sure doesn't do that. They don't come out with it Battlefield every year. They wait a few years and look at the product we get. Battlefield One, in my opinion, is one of the best. In my opinion, like one of the best shooting games I played in a very long time. It's almost a perfect game. Like there's minor gripes I have about it. Yeah, so that's kind of my Call of Duty, I guess, rant. Um, you can't really blame Call of Duty, Activision, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, etc. for what they've done. It has a lot to do with the community and how they tried to listen to them. But I think at the end of the day, they took too long to listen to the community, and now they're regretting it. Is Call of Duty a dead franchise? I don't think it's a dead franchise, but it's definitely not where it should have been or should be. And I think it's 50-50. You can't just blame them for making the games and how they turn out. Because when you have a fan base that big, you can't listen to them all the time. And I think, as long as, obviously, as long as you're selling games, that's all that matters because at the end of the day, it's all about money. Um, but yeah, I don't know. So let me know what you think. Do you still play Call of Duty? I don't, it's it's such a love hate thing for me now because like I don't know if I'm ever gonna buy another Call of Duty. I don't see what the point is. Like I'll be playing Battlefield for years to come until the next console, to be honest. And maybe then I'll buy Call of Duty. I do have an Xbox One now, and I only have Gears of War and Gears of War 3. Sorry, Gears of War 4. So maybe I'll buy World War 2 just for the Xbox. I don't know. So then I'll have COD on one console and I'll have Battlefield on the PS4. I don't know. But those are basically my points and why I think COD is the way it is and how I feel about it right now. So yeah, that's all I really got to say. Peace out.